Britain built an empire on Indian blood, then forgot the men who died for it. For centuries, Britain did not just rule India, it used India, its money, its resources, and most importantly, its soldiers, to fight wars across the world. And now comes the astonishing part. Nearly 10,000 Punjabi soldiers who died fighting for the British Empire in World War I were left out of Britain's official record of war, dead for more than a century. Think about that. These men were trusted with rifles, sent thousands of kilometers from home, and thrown into some of the British Empire's toughest battles. But when the war was over, Britain somehow struggled to remember their names. The newly identified group includes 9,909 soldiers from the historic Punjab region who died during World War I but were never properly recorded by British authorities. It is only now, more than a century later, that they were added to casualty records for the first time. And the story exposes a much bigger truth about colonial India. Britain did not just rule India, it used India as a military machine. But somehow, they were not important enough to remember. That is not just a clerical mistake. It exposes the ugly reality of colonial rule. During the First World War, more than 1 million personnel from the Indian subcontinent served overseas. Indian troops fought in France, Belgium, East Africa, Egypt, Palestine, and Mesopotamia, modern-day Iraq. And they were not fighting to defend an independent India. They were fighting to protect British imperial interests. Mesopotamia makes that especially clear. Britain wanted control of a strategically crucial region, its trade routes and its oil resources. And who helped fight for it? Indian soldiers. India had become Britain's military backbone, and this was nothing new. Long before the World Wars, Indian troops had been sent to Egypt, China, Afghanistan, Burma, Persia, East Africa, and elsewhere. The British Empire could fight wars thousands of kilometers away because India supplied the manpower to do it. Britain took Indian soldiers and turned them into an imperial force, and the system had layers of exploitation. Some Indians joined for pay, pensions, land, status, or because military service offered one of the few reliable livelihoods available under colonial rule. Others followed strong regimental and community traditions. For decades, Britain maintained detailed records of its own war dead. But more than 100,000 personnel from its colonies, primarily from Asia and Africa, were excluded from the same level of recognition. Now, researchers have uncovered thousands of forgotten Punjabi names from archives in Lahore. After verification, 9,909 soldiers were finally added to Britain's casualty register, the biggest update in 80 years. It is a correction, but it is also an indictment, because the British Empire did not simply conquer territory. It turned India into a military and economic engine for imperial power. Indian soldiers fought Britain's wars across continents, while India itself remained under British rule. Their courage was real. Their sacrifice was real. What was missing was the recognition. And that is precisely why remembering them matters today. Because colonialism did not just steal land and wealth. It also took Indian lives, used them to build an empire, and then spent a century forgetting their names. With Rishika Radhya, Bureau Report, India Today Global.